Yeah. Ain't No Money in Poetry, episode 10 maybe. I'm your host, Mr. B ROCKSTAR, powered by Star Power. We're back with another awesome topic, WACK Poets Part 2. Yes, I want to say it was week 2, maybe the second episode we did was about WACK Poets. We thought we'd go ahead and bring it back. We talked about the WACK talented people and WACK minded people. So today we want to get into how that we're going to get away from the people and the types, and more so how that type of environments can turn you into a WACK poet. Keep it locked. Let me get my Instagram family in here real quick. IG family, we live. You already know what time it is. Ain't No Money in Poetry, WACK Poets Part 2. We talked about WACK Poets Part 1 a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Now we're going to get into Part 2. Today is about the environment. You feel me? We went into different types of WACK people, but we're going to get into how these type of WACK people can turn you into a WACK poet. Let me put it in there. Maybe I should put it in here real fast. Boom. WACK Poets Part 2. WACK Poets Part 2. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the live. Y'all on Instagram, but I am on YouTube right now. But I like to have my Instagram family tap in while we talk about these topics. I'm going to go ahead and dive right in, y'all. That's your boy playing, by the way. Okay, anyway. We're not here to have fun. We're here to learn. No, I like to learn while I'm having fun. Or have fun while I'm learning. However you want to put that. Anyway, WACK Poets Part 2. I got my notes. Let's dive right into it. What's going on, family? I'm a WACK poet. You're not a WACK poet. You're not a WACK poet. I promise you, you're not. Based on these metrics, you aren't a WACK poet. But we're going to get into, you know what I'm saying, that right now. So like I said, on the first time we talked about WACK Poets Part 1, we went into two types of WACK poets. There are those who are just WACK from a talent standpoint. They just trash on stage. And then the other type of WACK poet is the WACK person, a WACK-minded individual, okay? And we're not going to go too deep into that again. You can just go back and watch that previous live. However, today we're going to get into how this environment affects your mindset. If you think you're a WACK poet, Instagram, I'm on YouTube, just so y'all know, so be on the same page. If you think you're a WACK poet, it's because you're probably hanging around WACK poets. You feel me? And just by changing your environment up a little bit, you might be able to change the outcomes that you're receiving with your art form, okay? So let's dive right in. Boom, boom, boom. So real fast, this can be, the word poet can be interchangeable with artists. You feel me? It could be a WACK artist, a WACK singer, WACK comedians, WACK, people, whatever you want to call it. All these things do apply, okay? So we talked about WACK talent. So the WACK talented people are those who don't commit themselves to improving on the craft or the effort to display that craft from a business standpoint. So when I talk about displaying the craft, there are those who we can admit aren't very talented on stage. They don't have that wow factor or that star factor just yet, but they are consistent and they do have a platform, and they're very considerate when they go about administrating this platform. They take this platform and this administrative side, the business side of their art, very, very seriously. You feel me? So this is somebody I wouldn't consider a WACK poet. We think just because you just don't have the talent or that you're just not as dope, that makes you a WACK poet. A WACK poet is just somebody who's not working at all. They're at a certain level and they just don't grow at all. You feel me? And we could actually take it a little bit further. There are some poets or artists who are dope, but because they just think they're dope and they just kind of high off of their dopeness, they never ever take the steps to improve upon their artistry, and they just kind of plateau. Like who they was 5 years ago, they're still that person today doing those exact same poems today. That is a WACK poet, okay? That is a WACK talented person. You got to watch out for these people because they are contagious. That's what I have here in my notes. A lazy mindset is contagious. Somebody who is not getting better at the craft, better and better and better and better at the craft, is somebody who can, that type of energy can rub off on you. You feel me? I've had certain points in my career. I've been doing this 14 years now, 8 years full time. I've had moments in my career where I felt stagnated. I felt like I was kind of plateauing and wasn't really growing as an artist, or not even that I wasn't growing as an artist, the business side wasn't really growing. And that's because I was hanging around people, spending a lot of time around people who were not elevating. They were not even concerned about elevating. And that's very, very important if you want to be a successful artist, okay? So like I said, we're not going to talk about the last stuff too much. So we talked about the WACK talented. Now the WACK person, right, are those who don't commit themselves to growing as a human being, addressing bad habits and generational curses. If you haven't noticed, today's lesson is more about mindset than anything. We say that there ain't no money in poetry. That's a mindset. And the people that say that are broke poets, whack poets, and sometimes poets. And you have to audit your spaces. And that's what we're going to kind of get into here. So we talked about, so I just said that whack-minded individuals are lazy, they're weak-minded, and they do not allow growth into their space. I'm just sorry, we're just gonna call it like it is. They don't allow growth into their space. Now, how do we audit these whack-minded and whack-talented poets slash people slash artists slash whatever you want to put a slash baby daddy slash baby mama, whatever you want to put right there, put in the slash. How do we combat these whack people? First thing is discernment. We have to increase our level of discernment. We as artists, we tend to hang around artists that we gravitate to because either something they said in their content we can relate to, how they talk we can relate to, the types of friends we have are mutual, so we just kind of relate by nature. You feel me? But it's important to have discernment first and foremost. Anytime you're in a whack space, you're absorbing whack energy, you're catching some contagious laziness, you have to look at yourself first and audit your ability to discern. What is discernment? How good are you at judging good character and bad character? That's all that means. And the way we go about auditing our spaces is by first just looking in your contacts. Look at your recent calls and look at the last 5 people that you called. And when you look at the last 5 people that you called, I want you to ask yourself, is this person positive? Is this person negative? When I was on the phone with this person, how long was this conversation? Was it constructive or was it destructive? Did it stoke my fire and my flame to be great? Did it boost my passion to be awesome? Or did it kind of make me question myself and make me feel insecure? Was I talking to a motivator or a narcissist? Was I talking to, you can really get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Look at your last 5 contacts, the last 5 people you talked to, and ask yourself, how did that conversation make you feel? That's the first step to boosting your discernment and really auditing your circles, okay? Very, very important. Go on your social media. Look at the last 5 people you DM'd. The last 5 direct messages you have. Check that out right now. If you're on Instagram watching this, do that right now. Look at your last 5 DMs and do the same audit test. How did I feel when I engaged with this person? Does this person make me feel positive? Does this person make me feel negative? Is this person out here crushing it, or are they out here being lazy? Am I pouring into them more than they pouring into me? Yo, I had a moment yesterday. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, and I had Cash App somebody for something. And when I looked at the Cash App, it said that I had sent them $855 and they had sent me $50 in the time that we had been doing business, right? And I had to really, really think about that. I'm like, damn, like, I really go over here. You know, now granted, at the beginning of that, it was like an investment. Like I kind of knew what I was doing. But at some point, the relationship kind of just became that. Me constantly pouring in to get scraps back. I'm putting $855 of energy out to only get $50 of energy back. Okay, something that you want to really, really think about. This is something this is a person I really, really care about, y'all. Like this person is like top tier in my life, so-called, right? But when I did this discernment test, like I wouldn't tell y'all to do anything that I'm not doing myself. When I did this discernment test 2 days ago, I was like, wow, like I really need to switch my circles up. Like I'm really hanging around people that are kind of like leeching off of me, but I can't really turn around and do the same thing with them, you know? And granted, it's a decent spot to be in. You know, who doesn't want to be needed and wanted and appreciated and being able to be called upon. Like, I like being the help. I like being the person that can come and save the day. But you can't save people who aren't saving themselves. You can't. It's harder, and it's hard to keep saving people who have never saved you. You feel me? And this isn't like a transactional thing. We ain't got to keep tabs of who doing what. That's not what this is about. What I'm saying is, you want to change the whackness in your life, like how much whack energy you have on your person. You have to start discerning and really auditing the spaces that you're in. Okay. Let's see. Okay, the last 5 contacts, the last 5 DMs, the last 5 meetings that you went to. Let's talk about that. The last 5 meetings or gatherings that you went to. Audit that space right now in your mind. The last 5 things I went to, was it a positive experience? Was it a negative experience? Did it improve my thinking? Did it make me more insecure? You feel me? These are the types of questions you have to ask if you don't want to be a whack poet. You don't have to be a whack poet, y'all. You can be an awesome, amazing poet, but you have to stop hanging around other whack poets, okay? And if you missed any of this live, some of y'all coming in, some of y'all coming in on YouTube, you can just go back and watch. I always save these. Let's see, what's stopping your growth? Okay, yeah, so this was actually in the promo that I had for this episode. What's stopping your growth is your bleeding heart for lazy, weak-minded people. What's stopping your growth is your bleeding heart for lazy and weak-minded people. One of the reasons why we're whack or not really growing as an artist is because we're not focusing our art enough on the people that will truly benefit from it. Not the people that can benefit from it, the people who will truly benefit from it. It is so important that you get very intentional about the art that you put out. If you are not intentional about your art, then you are therefore a whack artist or a whack poet. Why do I say this? So my last note that I have here, and this is what we're going to go home on, we have small poetry artist dreams because, one, we want to be just full-time artists, or we do not have enough examples of sound business models to actually be successful at this. What do I mean by this? I believe, and I've kind of come to this realization, I can't say I believe it, I know this, this realization in the last couple of days talking to my dog Milk. I told him, you know, I think wanting to be a full-time artist, and that's the only goal, I don't think that's a big enough goal. And I also think that goal is a little bit selfish as well. It is very, very important that we attach our poems, our work, to a plan. And that's something I actually just posted about this morning. A poem without a plan is whack. A poem without a plan is whack. Why do I say this? If you think about what that means, I just want to be a full-time artist. I just want to do my art full-time. Like, I've heard so many artists say this. I've actually been one of those artists early on at the beginning of my journey, before I started to understand the ins and outs of everything, to just want to be a full-time artist and that's it. Basically, you're saying that you want to live your life on your terms and not do anything or be held responsible to anything other than creating when you want to create. That's what we're saying. When we say, I just want to be a full-time artist. We're working so hard to save our money so we can leave our job and just be a full-time artist. That's whack. It's whack, y'all. And the reason why you had that whack mindset, because you was hanging around other whack artists who said the same thing, and you adopted that same mindset. Oh, I want to be a full-time artist. You have to attach your art to something. Art for art's sake is whack. A poem without a plan is whack. And like I said in my post, that's word to Toni Morrison and Amiri Baraka. I did not even come up with that myself. Amiri Baraka and Toni Morrison, they talk about how our art must be working. It must be doing something. It must be uplifting people in some kind of way. It must be motivating people to, you know, come out of depression, to manage their autism, to deal with cancer, to deal with loss in a family, to deal with these health issues, to deal with mental health, to help people travel around the world. You can attach your art to so many amazing things, but instead we attach it to something as whack as, I just want to do it full time. Well, why? For what? You feel me? And when you start to answer these questions, these whys and these whats, it will truly unlock your identity and who you are as an artist, your brand, your messaging, everything that you're about as an artist can then come to fruition, because now you have a purpose, you have a mission, you have a vision, you have an agenda, you have goals, you have things that you can aspire to. But when you just say, I just want to be a full-time artist and that's it, just create full-time, like that's whack, y'all. It's so whack. It's so whack. And I want us to stop that. And the way we do that is by getting clear about what we want our art to do. So those are your two main homeworks today. Your two main homeworks today is, one, to audit your circles. Audit your circles and really see how many whack people you're giving your energy and your time to, okay? You do this by looking at your last 5 contacts in your phone. How did those conversations go? The last 5 DMs in your social media. How did those conversations go? How did those people make you feel? The last 5 gatherings that you were at, the last 5 meetings that you were at. How did this environment make you feel? How did it motivate or not motivate you to continue on your journey, okay? And then the third thing you want to do is to, attach your artistry to something bigger than yourself. Because to just say I want to be a full-time artist is not enough, okay? That's pretty much all I got. Like I said, I like to keep these things short to about 15 minutes. While we're here on the live, or if you're watching this later, tomorrow I am doing a spoken word accelerator event. It is a live event simulation. Yes, you're going through a live event simulation with your boy, Mr. B Rockstar, at the helms. And there's going to be a couple of performances, but the primary reason we're there is to learn performance gems, how to monetize around our performances. I'm gonna give you 2 strategies. I'm giving away event prizes for live performers, specifically for live performers. So that includes stage buddy passes, meaning I will accompany with you as a stage buddy to any event you want, give you live feedback, record your performance so that you have that content for your portfolio. And I'm also giving away a spotlight feature at one of my signature shows. So I have 2 shows in downtown Atlanta. One is House of Crowns, positive vibe. The other is the Moan Room, erotic, nasty ass vibes. Whatever your vibe is, you will have a spotlight feature for that show. I'm giving away all this stuff tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoonish, 5:30 in the West End. The Spoken Word Accelerator. The link is in my bio. The link is in my bio. The link is in my bio. Other than that, I love y'all. It's been love. Mr. B Rockstar. I think I did good on the time today. You feel me? I'm starting to time myself on these things. Let me see how long I've been in here. Okay, well, it's not too bad. 22 to 22. I probably started about 5 minutes late. So yeah, we right on track. I appreciate y'all. Ain't No Money in Poetry. Make sure you go back and watch all the previous episodes. We live, y'all live. I'm gonna come up with a better ending in a couple episodes. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see you. IG. What's up, y'all? Hold up. In the broadcast.